Okay. I think the biggest takeaway right now for me from the game is just how proud I am of our team and the resiliency that they showed. This time last week, it was like the sky was falling and the season was over. And they showed a lot of I think they showed a lot of character, a lot of fight. You know, I understand it's one win. It makes us 3-3, which is where we were at this point last year. But I just think I'm proud of the way that they answered and hung together and stuck together as a family through what was a difficult week. Obviously, the first thing that sticks out to me about tonight is the defense. I mean, they only gave up 10 points on their side of the ball, three of which came off of a shank punt that hits us, which is, you know, an unfortunate mistake. I thought that they played outstanding. Great job by Scott Boone and our coaching staff, and a great job by our players of playing assignment football. Everybody just doing their job, not trying to farm somebody else's land. And I thought we tackled pretty well. I thought we ran to the ball. Really proud of the defense. Offensively, our goal was to score 35 points, which we had not gotten there. I don't think we had gotten there this year. So a really good job offensively. 2 times in the game, it felt like momentum could swing back the other way, especially after the fumble that gets returned for a touchdown. And I thought that our guys did a terrific job of keeping their poise and just playing the next play. And we had 2 long drives that answered touchdowns by New Mexico, and I think that those were outstanding drives offensively. We ran the ball terrifically. I'm not sure what the number is. I'm sure it's high. 2 guys over 140 yards. I thought Tyler was very effective when he pulled it in the Reed game. Threw it well enough. Obviously, Jericho had a heck of a night, 9 catches for 121. But really, if you'd told me that we were going to average 6.5 a carry and they were going to average 3.5 a carry, I'm sure I would have said sign me up right now. So really pleased. Tyler, 16 for 19, 2 touchdowns, very efficient, and really a team win. Worth mentioning, I made a big deal of it in front of the team. There are a lot of people that played well tonight. This was a team win, but Darren Echeverria and Ziad Damanyuri starting at guard, seeing their first real action, and Etch not being thrust into that role until Thursday because Joey Engelmeyer got hurt at the very last period of Wednesday's practice. Just so proud of those guys. The way that they handled all this movement and pressure that we got from New Mexico to get thrown into that and do that job, really good. It's 1 win, makes us 3-3. We got a lot of football left in front of us, but I'm very proud of this team. I'm very proud of our coaches. I'm very proud of our staff because we hunkered down this week. It was just us in the building, and they answered very well. So with that, I'll take any questions.
What do you feel like the key was to 351 rushing yards?
We felt like we could have a chance to run the ball effectively, but we had to hit it north and south. We weren't going to run a lot of counter stuff. We weren't going to run stuff that took a while to get going because their stunting and their pressure. You know, we felt like if we could cover people up, set an edge on the defense, that we could go north and south, and that was our plan. We played in 2 tights a lot tonight because we felt like forcing New Mexico to defend an extra gap could kind of cut down on some of the junk. It kind of, being in two tights kind of quieted them down a little bit. Not that they were quiet. I mean, they were coming from everywhere, but we felt like if we could cover people up and get the backs going north and south, we had a chance to be effective, and that's what happened. We didn't run much counter tonight. We only ran a little bit of power. It was a lot of downhill zone. Let them move, and let's just cover them up and get the backs into creases. And our offensive staff and our kids did a great job of executing.
So this program really struggled against the triple option, obviously. With their force, and this is a little bit different. But I mean, this team is next in the nation in rushing yards. How were you able to keep them under the 4 yards per carry figure?
I think Scott Boone and his staff, first of all, did a terrific job. They had a great plan. I think our guys really executed well. Austin Kafensis deserves a little mention because he took the vast majority of the reps for the scout team, and we cut him loose and told him to just run around and try and make as many plays as he could. So we got a decent look in practice this week. But give the credit to our players. Nobody panicked. They played a bunch of times. You saw them trying to get the ball into the perimeter, and we stretched it out, and I mean, they ended up gaining 3.5, 4 yards on some of those. And I really think our interior two, whether it was Faramo, McReynolds, Yates, Calais Meyer, all the guys, all the big guys that played in there, they ate up 3 blockers tonight. So, you know, when the two big guys can eat up 3 blockers, that gives us a chance to run to the football.
Would you say that was the best overall team performance you've seen from you guys
this year? I think that's a fair statement. Yeah, we played. I mean, the kicking game, it was hard for anybody to get anything going in the kicking game. That was a pretty stiff breeze down on the field. And obviously the one shank punt hits a guy. Sometimes that's just bad luck. But I thought we covered very well. I was worried about number 24. He's a terrific kick returner. I thought Alex Boyd did a great job of pinning them inside the 5 or 6 twice. So, yeah, I mean, that was a complete team win. And our assistant coaches and our players deserve all the credit. They did a terrific job of bouncing back this week.
What is bouncing back like this and putting last week's game behind, for sure, keeps your guys moving forward? To be able to rebound like that?
Well, for one thing, it probably keeps that lunatic that was waiting for me to come out during pregame and just screaming bloody murder at me, probably keeps him at bay for a week. I think it is meaningful when you preach to them, hang together. You know, we're a family. We'll pull through this. We got to be resilient. I think when they fight through the adversity the way that they did and enjoy some success, I think it's a great teaching tool. I'm not trying to make too much of it, though. We're just 3-3, and we got to go. We got 6 conference games in front of us, and we got to go on the road to play a team that I know record-wise isn't great, but not necessarily a great matchup for us because they're going to get in big personnel and try and mash. So I told our guys, you know, last week I told them they had to bury the loss after 24 hours. Well, this week's no different. We have to bury the win after 24 hours. We'll enjoy it tonight, and then coaches will come back to work tomorrow, and the players will be here at 6:30 in the morning on Monday, and we got to move past it.
Second straight week allowing a touchdown late, big swing. What was different this week that allowed you guys to fight through that?
A little bit more battle tested now. We'd been in that situation. Although I'll say this, last week after the interception that went back for a touchdown, we answered with a touchdown drive. So, you know, we've done that 2 weeks in a row now. The trick is let's not turn it over. Let's not be in that situation. But this is 2 weeks in a row now that we turned it over, gave up points, and the difference is this time when we did it, we were ahead. Really, if you think of it, it's really the only difference. But I thought the quarterback answered that mistake very, very well. He was fine. We were up and down the sideline telling everybody just go play the next play, and we did that.
Do you feel more confident about the offensive line after the performance?
I feel better about it. I mean, Again, it's a good performance and it's something to build off of, but by no stretch of the imagination are we a finished product. I mean, we gotta keep getting better, and nor do I expect that we're going to rush for 300 yards every week.
You were essentially playing, number 4 and 5 offensive guards. Were you surprised at how well they played in their first real college action?
I am.
Pleasantly, I would assume.
Yes, very proud of them. Very proud of them. But I'd be lying to you if I wasn't worried about that because of all the movement. I mean, good luck, bro. Here's your first college game. They're going to stunt from a 3-man to a 4-man front, and the pressure's going to come from everywhere. Ron Hudson did a terrific job of getting those two guys ready to play. I think Nick, Ron, and the offensive staff did a terrific job of giving us a game plan that wasn't going to stress them out too much. A lot of our pass protection today was gap protection, where we weren't having to match man for man all the movement. I think the offensive staff, all those guys did a great job of understanding what our strengths and weaknesses were this week and making sure we had a plan to give our guys the best chance.
Engelmeyer situation?
So Joey's knee is not an ACL, which is great news. That was actually a concern. He's probably week to week. And McCauley, I would call week to week. As we sit here today, I don't know. I know McCauley has made significant progress, and I know when we learned that Joey did not suffer an ACL injury, that everybody took a big, deep sigh of relief. But he was immobilized through the weekend, so we really don't have a gauge of how much progress he's made thus far.
Lane suited up but didn't play.
Lane was there for an emergency. He had an ankle sprain that knocked him out last week. And to be honest with you, he couldn't practice much until late in the week, and against an option team, it was not ideal to put a guy in that had not seen those reps live in practice. So Lonnie played well, and Akeem Muhammad got moved from from corner into nickel, and he deserves a lot of credit. That's 2 weeks in a row that he's kind of had to go out of position to help us out, and he did a great job.
How big was that last drive to eat up all the clock and then kind of put a dagger in?
That is big. I mean, we've had a couple times this year where we've had opportunities in a 4-minute drill to finish teams off. We had a chance in Buffalo, we didn't do it, and we had a chance against UC Davis, and we didn't do it. And when they know you're going to run it, you know you're going to run it. Everybody in the stadium knows you're going to run it, and that ends the game. That is a positive step. It's a step in the right direction, because in that situation this year, we were 0 for 2. I have no problem. I was not going to kick the field goal. That is not the right play there, because you risk a blocked field goal that goes back for a touchdown. Now, and I've actually been a part of one of those where a blocked field goal went back for a touchdown, then an onside kick, and all hell breaks loose. So going for it on 4th down was the absolute right thing to do. And I have no problem with throwing the ball. I told Nick we weren't going to throw it, but on 4th down, if we don't make the first, the clock stops anyway. So there's, you can't force them to take their last time out. So the throw was the right thing to do, and a fantastic call by Nick and Jim Hoffer to go move the pocket, because you knew you were going to see all-out pressure. Go to a 3-man surface, move the pocket, and see if we couldn't hit a quick one. And then obviously Jericho made somebody miss, which was great, and we finished it off. I would have been happy with a touchdown, or a first down and a couple kneel downs. He made a guy miss and scored, so that was good too. But
what did you think of Don and James?
Thought they were great. Don goes for 158, James goes for 149. Both guys average over 6.5 a carry. Thought they broke tackles. When we played the Buffalo game, we ripped off the 90-yarder and then had a 56-yarder. Those kind of skewed the numbers a little bit, because when you took those out, we really only ran for about 4 carry. But tonight, every yard was earned, and we broke tackles. We made people miss. We ran hard. Very proud of the job that those two guys did. And James got nicked up at one point, had to go in for an X-ray. X-ray came out negative on his thumb, and then went back into the game and really played hard. We good?
Anything else for Coach?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Get players in here this time. Questions for Lenny?
How good's it feel to get back on the winning track?
That's a great feeling. We came out and did what we practiced and talked about, and it's a great feeling no matter who it is, no matter how you win. A win's a win, and we got in the locker room, we celebrated.
Why were you guys so effective with this triple option?
We did our job. I mean, every time I come here, I say if we do our job, we'll be successful, and today we did our job. I mean, we might have had one or two plays get out, but other than that, everybody knew what they had to do, and they did it. So when you do your job, you can stop good offenses like that. But it's about doing your job, and we did our 111th.
You only really had one drive that actually was against the defense rather than the one came off the special teams. I mean, what's that say about how well you guys played?
I mean, we played hard. We ran to the ball. We read our keys. And, I mean, we've been doing that for a couple weeks now. It's just about finishing and sustaining those drives when we get in bad field position or we have them backed up. We got to keep them there. So I think we came out with energy, passion, and we knew what we had to do, and we knew we had to win. So we did our job good today.
What do you think it says about the team to come back from a really hard loss and play your best game of the season?
Like Polian preaches resiliency. I mean, that's pretty much it. You can't, like we said last week, we can't let UNLV beat us twice. And we came out and played hard today, and it showed up.
I feel like this defense is at another level the last couple of games.
Yeah, I think we're playing better and better as the weeks go on. We're getting more comfortable. We're flying around to the ball. We come off the field. We communicate. We get things fixed. And we're just a mature group. And I like where we're headed.
How big is a performance like this confidence-wise for you?
Oh, man, this boosts our confidence, I mean, a lot. We want to keep teams at 3.2 a carry. We held them to 3.6. And though we didn't reach our goal, I feel like we stopped the run a lot. So, I mean, I feel like our defense is walking around with a lot of confidence, and the offense actually played well today. So I feel like they're walking around with a lot of confidence, too.
You just mentioned your offense scored a ton, 35 points, season high. Does that do anything for you guys defensively when the offense is moving the ball?
Yeah, it makes our job a little bit easier. When the offense is moving the ball, you know, we get rest, and when they go up, we know teams have to start passing. So it makes the defensive line a little bit more happier, a little bit more we got a little bit more of an itch to get out there. But when the offense is putting up points, man, you just feel more comfortable when you play with a lead than playing from behind.
Jared Joseph had a couple of nice plays. I didn't see him out there too much. What did you think of him, and what did you tell him?
I told him before the game he was going to play a little bit today, and he better come with it. And that's what he did. We know what JJ can do. And when he got in, he showed us what he can do. So hopefully we'll see him a little bit more.
You talk about the middle two, your defensive line. Coach Polian said that they were kind of the key, stepping up three guys. How did you think the defensive tackles played in this game?
They played great. Maybe the linebackers can answer that a little bit more because they were probably clean. But those guys take three almost every play. And they were getting pushed and they were making tackles. And I think they played pretty well tonight.
How was their triple option different trying to stop the air forces? Was it a lot different?
Then what?
Than air forces?
Theirs is more of a zone read, and then it's an option. Air Force is like a quick dive, and then they're rolling out, and they got two or three. Man, Air Force just gives you a headache. This was a little bit more. You got a little bit more time to read it because they're in the pistol, and it gives you a little bit more time to run to the ball.
Jones? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
It feels really good. I was actually talking to Jerry Gibson about this in the locker room. It's a completely different feel. Locker room's buzzing, spirits are high, but then again, it's just one game, and I think tonight and maybe tomorrow we'll really look into the celebration, really live it out. But I mean, next week we got another opponent, so we got to shift focus. So it's a temporary upbeat feeling for us.
What was the sense of urgency in this one, considering last week?
Well, defensively, we knew that we had to stop the run first and foremost. These guys aren't much of a, at least what they had shown previously, they aren't much of a passing threat. So coming into this, I mean, that was our main focus. And then as a team, we knew we had to stop the dive. That was our goal. That was our main focus, stopping the inside run. Aside from that, we just thought, hey, they're going to try to work the perimeter when the dive's not working. We're going to have to run to the ball. And so, I mean, I guess the urgency was just stopping the run and getting outside and just running and making tackles, making routine plays.
You guys held them 155 yards under their average rushing-wise. I mean, how were you guys so effective rushing defense?
I think because I actually was thinking about this after the game a little bit, and especially from previous games to this week, I think that we're starting to actually be more consistent. You see a lot more consistency on our fits, on our gap responsibilities, just on responsibilities in general. Stuff that we preach at practice and stuff that we preach in team meetings is guys doing their job. And I think tonight that guys were just doing their job, and that showed.
This three-game stretch, you guys have played really well, especially against the run. Is this some of the best defense you've been around for a three-game stretch?
It's hard to say because teams are always adapting just like we are. I want to say that this is my senior year, and I'd like to look back on it and think that it seems special, like we have something special going on defense. And it started last spring, and it's translated through fall camp and now into the season. I do think we have something special going on defense right now, but it's really hard to compare to past years.
What does it say to you to see the team bounce back from a devastating loss with its best game of the year?
Resilience, really. The fact that we can face adverse conditions and come back and come back with a win too, play well. And this is something that Coach Polian talks about a lot, is you're always going to face adversity, you're always going to face tough situations, whether it be on the football field or in life, and it's just how you kind of respond to those things that defines your character. So really coming from last week to this week, and something that he addressed in the locker room was that we showed character and that we showed resiliency, and we stuck together to win this one.
Anything else, Jordan?
What's up, y'all?
How big was that for you guys to come back and get the win?
Huge. God is good, man. It was huge. We came together. It's a great feeling. We came together, and that's the most important thing. We didn't bounce back. Coach P likes to say we're taking off. So I'm proud of my guys. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
You had a couple of new offensive guards in there.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of their play?
Etch and Z did a great job. They did a great job. They handled all. I mean, Mexico brought pressure at play after play after play. They brought the house play after play after play, and they did a great job, keeping their eyes up and latching on the guys and picking up the right people. And I'm proud of them, man. Next man up is so big in this program to where everybody's got to be prepared to go out there, and they did a great job, man. They came out. They knew where to go. They knew what to do, and that's just hats off to them, man. They were in there in the film room at 11 o'clock at night. You know what I mean, late in the building. So when you prepare the way they did, it pays off.
What was the biggest difference running the ball from last week to this week? Because you guys almost between you and James Butler, you guys almost ran for 300 yards. What was the biggest difference?
The details are everything. I was telling Chris last week the details were so important, just on our offense in general. And I feel that you know, that split second we needed for guys to stay on blocks, they stayed on blocks. And, you know, I think just guys were kind of just tired of the almost thing, the almost factor of it. So I'm just happy, you know, we were able to get on the guys, and, you know, JB was breaking tackle after tackle after tackle, and came out in our favor.
It's pretty tired, people say it a lot. Did you guys treat this one as a must-win?
Yeah, every game's a must-win. Every game's a must-win. After we were getting beat up after the UNLV game, a lot of guys felt disrespected. A lot of guys felt like there was a lot to prove, and not only to the community and stuff like that, but, you know, just to each other. You know, see how resilient of a football team we can be. And like I said, I'm just blessed to be in a situation where, you know, my guys came out and they weren't going to accept a loss today.
Any more questions for Don? The run game, I mean, you guys had some big yards against Buffalo, but a lot of that was 2 plays. It seemed like you guys were consistently able to get 5-6 yards per carry in this game. Do you feel like this was your best rushing attack of the season?
I haven't got to look at the numbers, but arguably, I guess. I think it's just important for us to, you know, just look at the film and try to just bounce, you know, improve even more. You know, I think the sky's the limit for this offense, you know, once we, you know, if we play like we did today. So as far as the best game, I won't know until I look at the film. There's always going to be some things that we want back, but I think we can get even better. To be honest, I think we can. I gotta stop getting caught. Yep.
I mean, wins always feel really good. This one, obviously, I feel like our whole team kind of a little sigh of relief after we won, just after the kind of disappointing loss we had last week.
You guys are really able to establish the run early in the game. What was the key to rushing the ball so well today?
I think our mindset was we all week we were talking about how we need to bounce back and we need to get to doing what we usually do, and that's run the ball. And I feel like those guys came out with a great mindset to just get it done, because they were stacking the box and we still were getting up in there and getting positive yards, so that was good.
Jericho had 9 grabs. No one else had more than 2 tonight. Were you looking for him?
I mean, we had a couple plays where the defense didn't work out how we wanted to, so I checked it down to him, and he made some plays with the ball in his hands. Sorry, that was bad. So I mean, I always try to spread it around, just whoever's open, and he happened to be open a lot tonight, and that's a credit to him.
Seems like he's come on the last couple of games. What is he giving you, out there on the field? Why has he been playing better last time?
Other than telling me to throw him the ball every pass play, I mean, no, I'm kidding. He's funny about that kind of stuff. He just likes giving me a hard time. But no, he always in practice. He's really come on in practice the last couple of weeks, and I would really attest to that. That's why he's been doing well in these games, and he's just been. And we've been telling him, just catch the ball and go. Like, stop trying to make a move and do all that stuff. Just catch the ball and go get yards. And he's been doing that the past couple of weeks, and it's paid dividends, obviously.
Is he healthier? I mean, he had the ankle thing early in the season. Do you see him,
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he looks like he's running pretty good, so I would say he's healthier. You'd have to ask him how he really feels, but I feel like the way he's running, he looks fine to me.
So he's pretty vocal about giving the ball?
No, he's just funny about it. It's not like anything serious. He's just funny. Jericho's a little jokester.
You guys scored 4 touchdowns on 5 red zone possessions. Why were you guys able to finish off drives and not set up for field goals?
I think that goes back to the mindset. Our O-line was doing a great job all night tonight, and our mindset in the red zone is always score a touchdown. We can't just settle for field goals down there. It hurt us early in the season, a couple games where we settled for field goals, and we just can't do that. We got to help our defense out and make sure we get in the end zone, and we did that pretty well tonight.
You and Don have the kind of mix up on the read option, ends up going the other way. What was your mindset after that play? Because you led 2 good drives after that for the game.
That was all my fault. That had nothing to do with Don. That was totally me. Yeah. I can't do that. That's totally unacceptable. That one really, it beat me up a little bit, but everyone had my back, and they're like, we got to go. We got to go get another one. There's a lot of time left in this game. And I would say them having my back really helped us get those last 2 drives going, and we just went out there and did what we usually do, and it worked out, and we scored 2 touchdowns, so that was good.
You talked about a new mindset offensively. Do you feel like this can be a springboard for you guys moving forward?
Hopefully it is. We still got to look at the film and correct stuff, because obviously there's stuff to correct, and there always is every game, whether it's a win or a loss. And we'll just have to we had to move on from the loss. We have to move on from the win and get ready for our next game.
I feel like this game was kind of what you guys want to do with your identity offensively. I mean, you really set the tempo with the run game, and in the second half kind of opened it up for the pass game. Is this kind of an ideal blueprint for you guys?
I mean, scoring 35 points I'll take any night. We probably should have had 42, but I messed that up. So if we do this and score 42 points, I'm cool with whatever that is, and getting a W is always the #1 goal.